Hey team, what's up? Hope your Easter was going great, or it went great. It's Easter Monday technically, but I hope you had a good time. Hope you got to spend some time with family, maybe get to relax a little bit. Hope you took some time off from the business and that you are feeling rejuvenated and ready for today. We're back with this should be episode number 5, so let's fix that, of client by client. And as you can see here, we're going to be talking about how to stop chasing your coaching prospects and what to do instead. We're going to have a grand time. If you're watching this, wherever you're watching this, leave a comment so I can say hi, see how things are going. And you can let me know how the stream is. I'm trying to work out all these kinks and make sure that the show is smooth and that it sounds good once it goes into like the podcast app. So what you'll notice is there's a random couch cushion. I have a blanket in front of me and some other couch pads around the room to hopefully minimize the sound here. Jaden, what's up? How are you, dude? Good morning. Hope your Easter was great, dude. So I can already feel the reduction in the sound, so I'm gonna have to do this every day until I figure out a better solution here for sound dampening. So hopefully the audio is gonna get even better on this as we go, and the production quality will continue to get a little bit better. Okay, yeah, drop happy Easter wherever you're watching this. Hope your Monday's off to a great start. Let me get my wits about me, make sure I'm good to go here. Later on today, I will be recording, or at least scripting out what like the intro and outro is gonna sound like on this show. I'm thinking about using the new YouTube podcast feature. That will mean that I will need to re-upload the final production of this to take advantage of that, because what I've noticed is that I'm not hardwired in with Ethernet. I need to fix that here soon. But what I've noticed is that sometimes the stream cuts off on the different platforms. Like on LinkedIn, I've noticed the stream is not 30 minutes, it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Or on YouTube, it's 20 minutes, not 22. So Facebook has been the most consistent for my stream so far. We'll see how this all goes. Yeah, we're learning, but we're not letting that keep us from the show continuing to go on. That said, let's hop in. Hey guys, what's up? Jeremy here from whatupjeremy.com, back with another episode. This is episode 5, and we're recording this on the Monday after Easter. So while this won't be coming out, probably during this week, I hope your Easter was really good. I have found in the past, and like maybe you can relate on this, is that when holidays come around and you're growing your online business, sometimes it can be really hard to detach, and it can be really, and that's not the subject of today's episode, but like what I did want to say is that if you did take yesterday off and you didn't touch the laptop, you didn't do prospecting, and you didn't think about the business, and you feel guilty, you got to give yourself permission sometimes to take a little bit of rest, to take a chill pill, and to allow things to be how they are. And just like how a 9 to 5 might be for you or has been in the past, you can leave that at work and not bring it home. You got to find a way to also do that in your online business. Guys, I'm running this from my home. I run my business from my home 9 times out of 10. The other 1 time out of 10 is from a coffee shop, typically from a Starbucks. I got my cold brew here ready. As you guys know, you can hear it if you're listening to the show. You can see it if you're watching the stream. And so I just wanted to say, if you did take the day off and you're feeling guilty, don't. Give yourself permission, especially on these sort of holidays, especially on a Sunday, right? To like not be touching the business, even if things aren't where you want them. There is a season in life to go full bore, but I also think that you gotta be managing your battery and your energy to make sure that you have what it takes to continue on through the week. Because if you show up Monday groggy-eyed, yawning, and not clearing what to do because you're kind of foggy and maybe you didn't eat well, and you spent way too much time in the business and didn't give yourself a chance to detach, that's going to hurt you in the long run. And so you got to give yourself permission, and you got to allow things to be as they are sometimes, so that when you come back, your battery is revitalized and you have the energy to actually go and make it happen. So that's just a little tidbit on a little bit of time off and kind of energy and what my mind's been around as well, because I'm feeling so rested because yesterday I did detach and I did some stuff here around the house and spend time with family. And when you do those things, you keep your cup filled up, and that allows for you to stay in the game even longer, which is all this online coaching thing is about, is getting in the game and staying in the game as long as you can, getting off the horse when you fall off and continuing to do that and minimizing the time it takes you when you do fall off to get back on. And you only learn that by being seasoned and by doing this game for so long or applying a previous career experience or life experience to it. But it's no different from a lot of those things, like the gym, like a career, like a sport. You got to stay in it. You got to avoid injury. The longer you stay in it, the higher your chances of success. That brings us to what we talked about in our last episode, where I shared with you my general philosophy on lead generation. Over these last 10 years, I've had my ups and downs when it comes to leads. And basically what I want to do is help shortcut your journey and help you to envision leads properly, lead management, lead flow, pipeline management, and your whole pipeline better so that you wind up with more clients at the end of that pipeline when they go through that sequence of your pipeline. So I just shared with you the way I look at leads. And there's not a single student that's joined the Get Clients program coaching over these next couple months of the show. But as online coaches, if you're worrying about clicks and landing page views and traffic and those sorts of things, at a certain stage in your business, if you don't have the sort of authority or audience, then you're worried about the wrong thing. There are coaches listening to this right now, and you might have ads running and tons of traffic and a big audience where you can just put something out, lower ticket, you get a bunch of people to buy, you're good to go. For many coaches, for the coaches that come to us and that come to me and get clients, for the kind of coach that I started out as, you didn't come out the womb with an audience and with a website and with any of the knowledge of this. You had to go and find it all out. And all you know from the big box coaches is what they do and what they teach. And so you wind up creating pretty landing pages, a well-designed course, and then you realize that you don't have clients in it, you don't have students in it, you don't know how to sell. And the part that you miss and that I missed for so many years was the conversational aspect, is that when you are when a prospect comes your way, the likelihood of them already being ready to buy is so low. And what most coaches do is they jump stages in their pipeline because they don't have them. And what they wind up doing is just assuming, praying and thinking, hoping, which is the worst strategy in online business as an online coach, that people are just going to show up and buy. And so they make great fancy looking sales pages and landing pages and all these things, and no one buys. And then they start, okay, I need an email list. So they go and they get their email service set up and they start to email out, and then they're emailing out the link to their program, and they're still they added a stage, but they're still skipping steps or skipping ahead. It's like asking for marriage on the first date. You got to kiss. Right? You got to have permission for that. You got to have consent. There's got to be some emotions back and forth. You got to be feeling the vibe, okay? There's things that need to happen to go from meeting stranger in life to like them marrying you and want to be with you for the rest of your life. And for some reason, when it comes to coaching, we just forget that people don't wake up thinking that they want to just go and invest in an online coach and that you're the coach for them. You have to have a conversation with them. And this is all about qualifying, all right? And so what we do and Get Clients with our students is we map out what are the questions that need to be asked back and forth. And all we focus on is hand-raising content, which is getting our strangers from the internet and folks in our audience, our folks, to raise their hand and say they're interested in something. This something would be a lead magnet, a video, a training, a guide, a PDF, maybe GetBookedCRM, like my free CRM for now that allows you to get leads, to get clients faster. That's one of my lead magnets. And so there's qualification that needs to happen and questions that need to be asked in a very specific order. Over in the Leverage Coach Facebook group, we also have how to start those conversations. I call them sparking open conversation, convo sparks, and then how to actually close them via conversation. And then, so this would mean that you close them into actually booking the call with you to have a conversation with them, or you actually close them right in the DM. So if you're not in the Leverage Coach group, get in there, message me the word group or drop group anywhere, and we'll get you inside of there. The first thing we need to do is qualify and not be jumping stages in the pipeline. Your pipeline might not be complete, which is a wake-up call for you right now. But when you have the right stages in there and you work backwards, you're gonna be far more likely to get people through your pipeline and to a happy paying client on the other side. Now let's talk about thing number 2. And before we talk about thing number 2, it's important that I give you a visual to think about when it comes to online selling. You see, your prospects and your market, they're not stupid. They're not dumb. They know that you have something to sell them. They know that you're not just waking up and spending time on the internet, having conversations and doing videos and all these things just because that's what you want to do. And while there might be some people that do that, those folks probably don't make the kind of impact that an online coach does when there's an investment required and there's time required from your clients to actually come in and participate, which is why we also don't do anything for free, right? So when it comes to online sales, and when it comes to selling's for most business owners, coaches or not, is like a tug of war. And so there's tension. And when you think of a negotiation, right? Someone has one demand and the other has, well, if you have that demand, well, I want this. And there's this constant tension back and forth. And then whoever wins really ends up with the better side of the deal. And the person who loses, they might be winning, so to say, but they're definitely not winning as much as others. So like, number one, I'm a fan of situations where everybody wins, where like I win because you're signing up and making an investment that helps my business to grow, that funds my life and my lifestyle, allows for me to have the sort of freedom that I've attained and continue that. You win because you're getting the shortcut to online coaching and you're getting all the resources, not having to look elsewhere. You're getting access to an amazing community of other coaches who all kind of go at the same speed and speak the same language and lingo as you. And you're also able to hear what questions are asking. So it just shortcuts your journey. So you win. And then your family wins because you're now bringing in more income, right? And the world wins, the community wins because you're just a happier person in life. You're giving more. You're able to do more, be there more for your family, be there more for yourself and for your health. So everybody wins. In tug of war, only one person wins. But let's stay on the tug of war analogy just to kind of round this out and make it complete. Instead of you being on one side of the rope and your prospect being on the other and you guys tugging back and forth until they say, okay, I'll buy, or they just run away and they choose to not participate anymore, what I want you to picture is you're holding one side of the rope and so are they, but your feet never move. You're never leaning back. You're never adding tension or anything like that artificially to the rope. All you're doing is making sure that rope stays straight across. So when it starts to sag a little bit because they're taking steps closer to you, all you're doing is just continuing to pull the rope towards you, but you're not yanking. You're just like taking the slack out of the rope in tug of war. And so when you get this right, what it looks like is instead of you and your prospect pulling at both ends, it's you staying in one spot and your prospect is continuing to take steps closer to you, and they're wanting to. And they cross the line of their own accord, and you didn't have to put a bunch of energy, tugging, pulling, blisters in your hands, all of those things, which we can make analogies for what that ends up being in this online coaching space. But the reality is that your prospects come to you. With time and building your authority, they will start chasing you. However, I just think that the best equation you can make is you staying still and your prospect electing to take step by step closer to you. The key to make this happen and to have this effect happen is something that you probably think you're doing, but you still have an opportunity to do better. The first thing you cannot do when it comes to this, and when it comes to this like prospecting part, before you have a random person from the internet, a person from your audience, someone in your market, right before they become a client, what you can't do is start coaching them. Taken out of context, that could sound a little weird because I think that you should be still creating value for them and showing them proof that you know what you're talking about and you're the real deal. But what you shouldn't do is coach them. Because when you go into coaching mode and prospecting, you do all the talking, which is really what we need to eliminate. We need to take out how important you feel during all of your prospecting and sales conversations and sales calls because it's not about you. And I know you know this, but I think you could use a little bit of a reminder. We need to talk less and we need to listen more. Now, what that doesn't mean is giving your prospects free range just to ramble because time is of the essence and you're a busy coach, or you should be. And so what this means is knowing the right questions to ask to get them to share the information that's necessary to make sure that it's a good fit. What we're really worrying about at this stage that I'm alluding to is about fit, is about, am I the right coach for you? Or are you the right prospect for me to get results from what I have for you? And when you ask the right questions that get them talking and they give you the right information, the most important thing to be doing through all of this is, yes, asking the right questions, but also it's listening. A really good sales conversation will consist of about 15 to no more 20% of you talking, no more than 15 to 20, and them talking 80 to 85% of the time. That 15% you are talking, let's now talk about what you should be saying during that time. That 15% should be about 7.5% you asking questions, and the other 7.5%, one, you shut up after you ask the question, you let them answer. You even give a little bit of time for them to continue on. You say something like, is there anything else you think I need to know? You say, okay, go on. Okay, I'm loving this. What else? You say things like that to keep them going so they know you're listening. And the other 7.5% is you repeating to them what they said to make sure that you're hearing them correctly and that you're picking up all of the pieces as they go along. The effect that this creates is absolutely magical, because in today's day and age where we all have unfettered access to the internet and social media, and if you think about me, I can come on here and stream this show online and people can listen to video and audio. I'm talking all day. The problem is that most people in today's day and age, while we're more connected than we've ever been, we couldn't be further distant from each other. We couldn't be less connected, almost in that same stroke, all right? In that same brushstroke, we're connected, but we're equally not as connected. And in this day and age, most people don't feel seen, they don't feel valued, and they don't feel heard. This is your opportunity to give them a space in a productive way. We don't start going on about random things in the world and other things going on, at least not for too long. But what you'll end up finding as you get even mediocre at this, asking, shutting up and listening, and then repeating back to them what they're hearing and clarifying it, is that for the first time in a long time, the person on the other end, that prospect, will feel heard. They'll feel like, wow, you listened to me. Wow, you understand me because you were listening and giving them airtime, not interrupting them, and repeating back to them what they were saying, how they were feeling. And so when you do this and you get this listening part right, this tug of war effect, it goes away and they just take steps closer to you. You stay in the same spot, they sign up, and then you get to the next prospect, and that prospect takes steps towards you. You have the right conversation with them and they become a client too. So we have to start asking better questions, listening more, and then clarifying and reflecting it back. And I know, guys, this sounds so basic, but I promise if you're thinking, oh, I knew that already, if that was your thought, you need this more than you know. And you probably are still very centered in on yourself, whether you're aware of it or not, in your business and in the sales aspect of your business. And this is, if there's anything that can help you with, or any questions that you have, don't hesitate to send me a message on social and just let me know what's going on in some context. Unless you want me to, I don't have to say your name or any exact specifics. And chances are whatever you're going through is probably going to help hundreds, if not thousands, of other people and online coaches in the space. So it's also a way for all of us to be selfless here together. Okay, team, we're 30 minutes in. Let's go crush the rest of Monday. It's only 10:45 here in Arizona. Let's go make big things happen, and let's go and get some clients. That's it for me, team. Cheers.